this episode of Sailing Doodles, we spend a bumpy morning in a rough anchorage before setting sail, making excellent speed to a little piece of paradise. Thank you to our patrons for supporting this channel. We could not do this without you. And thank you to chartercatamaran.com. If you would like to sail the boat we're on, check out their website. We were working our way north from Phuket and spent the night at Koh Kai Nok. How'd you sleep last night?
That was kind of rough.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. I was expecting that though. Let me show you guys out here. All right, so the wind is coming from over there, which the swells kind of wrap around a little bit. But you can see from our flag there, it's kind of coming from over here, right? And the swells are coming from over there. But the tide has made our boat swing around, so we're kind of beam on to the swells. I kind of expected that though, because that's just, the tide goes this way and that way and through this whole bay. And so you swing with the tide more than you swing with the wind. You know, if we were on a monohull, I mean, that would be miserable. Imagine being beam on to swells, and a monohull would be really uncomfortable. That's why I like a cat. I mean, it's not great, but it's not unbearable. We woke up a few times, or maybe more than a few times last night.
I woke up to actually go check.
Oh,
I was like, that can't just be the waves.
Yeah, but it was. It may have been a rolly place to anchor, but it sure was beautiful. These two islands right here are pretty much the main tourist islands for Phuket. So like all the day trip boats, the fast boats that come out of Phuket, they leave, you know, 8 or 9 in the morning and they come over here. So we're gonna get out of here pretty quick before they start showing up. Because apparently it's pretty nice, but I don't wanna be here when they're here. So we're gonna head north to some of the more remote anchorages up north. Some really cool spots. There's big granite boulders sticking out of the water, you know, like 200 foot tall. Anyway, we will check it out for you. When we were ready, we picked up the anchor and headed out. A nice line. I mean, obviously we'd be faster if we were catching more wind, but right now we're about 35 degrees apparent off the wind, which most boats can't do that. So you know, because we're really just barely making our course to the island we want to go to, so it's pretty nice. It holds its course pretty well. Definitely need the dagger boards down though. We didn't have the dagger boards down for a second, we were just sliding. Now it's doing okay. It was a 3-hour run up to Koh Naka. All right, so we're in 6 meters of water. So Laura put 35 seconds down, so about 35 meters, a little over 5 to 1 there. Should be a sandy bottom, we think. Now she's attaching the bridle. We'll let a little bit more out to take the weight off, to take the pull off the chain going into the windlass, and then the bridle takes it to each hull. And then we'll pull back down on it and set the anchor. I was hoping it'd be a little better over here, but there is a little bit of swell coming around the corner. You all right?
It doesn't work. It's just hard to do with one hand. Your turn. And I'm too bony. My hips hurt. I can't. Babe.
So apparently the landscape as we get further north is absolutely beautiful, but the water clarity suffers the further north we get because one thing you'll do a lot on a boat is stub your toes, a lot. Okay, now we got the anchor set, sorry about that. So anyway, the problem is that it's a big bay coming up here on the inside of Phuket. So all the water at high tide rushes in, and then at low tide it all rushes out. Well, there's a lot of rivers, a lot of mud and sand up there. So the tide comes in, picks up all that mud and nasty whatever, and then brings it back out. And so this water is just not very clear in here like it is way down there like Koh Phi Phi and everything. But the landscape, you can't really see it from here. There's just granite peaks, just gorgeous. So we'll see those tomorrow though. You can get a little bit of a sneak peek far off in the horizon there of those tall cliffs. But for now, we were gonna check out the Koh Naka Resort. What are we gonna go do now?
Well, we're gonna see if we get kicked out of this place or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a pretty nice place. I flew the drone over a minute ago. It's like every place has its own little private pool. We've been kicked out of one place so far.
Not everything's open to the public.
Right, well, I mean,
cruiser friendly.
Well, I looked it up. So like most hotel rooms, like we got a place on the beach the other day for like $50 a night. And that's considered somewhat expensive for Thailand for a hotel room. And here, I looked it up, they're like $450 a night, so.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know, they may take one look at us coming up like, where's your room key? Like, I don't know.
We're here for cocktails.
Cocktails. All right, let's do that. It is hot, oh my gosh, it's hot. We want to crash that pool for sure.
Yes.
The people at the dock were very friendly and welcomed us to the island. They even gave us a golf cart ride to the pool area. This place is very nice. It's like, I can see why they're charging, but it's very nice. And the staff is like super friendly.
Oh yeah,
helpful.
I like this stuff a lot.
Yeah, very cool.
I want to live here.
Well, I mean, okay, but their drinks are expensive too. So this was 180 baht, which is like $6.
U.S. prices?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, still cheap for a U.S. hotel beer, but it's an expensive place, but man, is it nice. That's the cool thing about cruising is that, okay, this is $450 a night for the cheapest room, you know, so call it $500, $600 a night for maybe $700 a night for a beachfront room. Well, we got the boat out there. We're not paying for any of that. I mean, yeah, we're paying for the drinks here, but it's a lot less expensive doing it this way.
I just like finding new stuff every day.
She wants to do a Naked and Afraid series.
Yes, I do.
She does, but then I mean...
You said I can only bring one thing. I think we should start with 4 things, then go to 3, then 2, then 1.
No, that's not how it works. Naked and Afraid, you bring one thing.
We can graduate, baby.
No, that's not how it works. That's cheating. Naked and Afraid, maybe someday, we'll see.
Vote on it.
Send, is it NBC that does that? I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, we're just gonna go on their show?
Yeah, just send, everybody write your NBC rep and tell them that the Sailing Doodles need to be on Naked and Afraid. Or, I don't know, it's NBC, I don't have no idea who does it. I don't even know if they have Naked and Afraid anymore.
That's why we have to do our own. Bobby says no because it'll be a blurring nightmare.
It will be very difficult to edit. It will be extremely difficult to edit. It was a really nice day and a beautiful sunset. thank you so much to our patrons. Please consider subscribing and clicking that like button.